Hey, hello people, my name is Rage, and welcome one and all to our next Pokemon Sun and Moon hype theory and just general fun time discussion-y type thingamabobby. I really need to come up with a more sort of static, refined introduction for these things. But either way, today we are going to talk about Mega Evolutions, because let's be honest, they are always exciting to find out what Pokemon are going to get this badass, new, powerful form. But the thing is, I think Sun and Moon are going to have a, well, evolution on Mega Evolution based on the design of the logos. Now, this needs a video all about itself to talk about, but I think we might see something quite special. But enough hinting at that. But for those of you that do know your Pokemon in and out, I'm talking Burst Heart. Either way, let's focus on Megas as we know them. I have gone through every single current Mega Pokemon, looking for trends, for any kind of patterns, trying to make sense of why which Pokemon were chosen, and I'll be honest with you, I have got reams and reams of data based on how competitive their based forms are, the type distribution, the region distribution, and it just... there is no clear pattern. It's like they got a board and threw darts at it and chose Megas. Now, granted, they chose a lot of them based on how popular they were. That one is definitely a factor, but apart from that, it's hard to make any logical predictions based on patterns. But that doesn't mean we can't theorize ourselves some Megas out. So what I'm going to do is go through all the Pokemon and tell you guys the ones that I think are likely candidates for Mega Evolution in Sun and Moon. So we're going to start with the most obvious choice, I think, and that is, of course, Solrock and Lunatone. Now, I actually wouldn't be surprised either way with these, but I'll admit it does make very firm sense. They are the literal Sun and Moon Pokemon, and it's very easy to imagine a character wielding both of these, and they bust out Megas against you, maybe in a special double battle somewhere, and it would just be fun to see. I feel like, for the most part, this one doesn't need much justification, but I could also see them totally get skipped with Megas, and they're just they're like, Lunatone, we're literally the Sun and Moon in, like, look at us, we look like a Sun and Moon, and we didn't get in Sun and Moon. I know, Solrock, I know, I'm trying not to think about it. I can't even throw myself off a cliff because I float. And that would just be really sad for those two, so you've got to give a nod to Solrock and Lunatone. So next up then, I actually think the Johto starters are in for a good runnings here, mainly because it is at least one solid pattern we have to go on. Every game since Mega Evolution has given us a new set of Mega starters. That kind of makes sense, and I have no reason to believe they're not going to keep doing that until every set of starters has got Megas. And how did I arrive at Johto over the others? Well, easily we can eliminate X and Y starters. They are really the newest ones, obviously, so they're not going to get Megas for a while. That leaves us with Sinnoh, Unova, and Johto. Sinnoh is obviously in line for the next 3D remake. God, I cannot wait! Mega Infernape, come to me! But that means they're going to be saved for whatever the game is after Sun and Moon, assuming the pattern of games holds. So then we are left with Unova and Johto, and at this point it's simply because I think more people like the Johto starters and they are earlier. There's also the association you can make with Sun and Moon being X and Y's Gold and Silver. If you see X and Y as a soft reboot of Red and Blue, like a lot of people do, I mean, even their logos are red and blue, and then you can look at Sun and Moon as the Gold and Silver continuation, and I think that makes sense. I think it's a nice way to go from 3D era onwards in the new universe/dimension that X and Y is in. Yep, there's a very strong theory saying that everything that happened in every other Pokemon game isn't in the same dimension/universe as X and Y, so that's quite good. So it makes sense to flow with that pattern, which puts the Johto starters in line for Mega Evolution, and that's fine. I think that one will make sense. So Now we have to extrapolate a little, I think, and next up I'm going to go for the Sun and Moonstone Pokemons. I think it makes sense. Pokemon that evolve via literally using a stone that represents the sun and a stone that represents the moon. So I'm thinking one of each will get one. For Sun, I'm going to go with Lilligant, mainly because I'm a little bit partial to Lilligant. It's one of my favorite grass types. I really like it. And secondly, because it's a Unova Pokemon, and Unova only has one Mega in the form of Audino. I mean, seriously, Nintendo, I refer to you to my earlier throwing darts at a board to choose Megas discussion. Either way, I'm thinking Lilligant for that factor, and it makes sense. Mega Lilligant has the potential to look really cool, and Lilligant is so nearly competitive that a Mega Boost would really give it a good place in the meta, so I'm liking that. And then for Moon, I think this one is fairly easy. We go for the classic Nidoking and Nidoqueen. Like, that makes sense, doesn't it? You could see them becoming a meaty pair of Megas, so I'm kind of looking out for that. As I said, there's not as much theory to work through here as with starters, because there's not that much to go on when it comes to Megas, so I am trying my best. So following that then, I'm going to give a quick mention to Flygon, which, yes, desperately needs a Mega. Everyone loves Flygon. It's a crime that it doesn't. It needs to go into this majestic bug dragon beast that everybody loves to use. I really want to see that happen. But, yeah, that one, there's no real basis. I just think it would be nice. So next up, then, we have a look at the pseudo-legendaries. Now, there are a Mega version of 3 of the 4. Yes, 3 of the 4 when there's 6 generations. I can do numbers, me! There are already Mega Evolutions of 3 of the 6 pseudo-legendaries. We've got Tyranitar, Salamence, and Garchomp. So, this is a kind of mini pattern we can follow. It makes sense to me that another pseudo-legendary is going to get a Mega Evolution. So is it going to be Goodra? Yeah, I was as surprised as you guys when I realized that Goodra was X and Y's pseudo-legendary. I mean, I love Goodra design-wise, but it's definitely the weakest of them all. So is it going to be Goodra, Hydreigon, or Dragonite? I definitely think we're going to eliminate Goodra. Again, X and Y is too new, so it's either Hydreigon or Dragonite. And then I think the nod has to go to Dragonite, simply because it's the OG dragon. Everyone loves Dragonite. It would be really cool to see a Lance-type character with a Mega Dragonite, and I just think that would be a lot of fun. And there's a lot of cool design ways you can take Dragonite to make it a really sweet Mega Evolution. So, based on the pseudo-legendary pattern, I'm gonna go for Dragonite. So, we're kind of reaching a sort of end of ones that I think make obvious sense for Mega Evolutions based on the theme of the games, but I'm not quite done. We did get ourselves some Mega Legendaries, namely Mewtwo, Rayquaza, and Kyogre and Groudon. Granted, they were primal reversions, but come on, it's Mega Evolution. So I'm thinking we'll get some more existing Legendaries get a Mega Evolution, and there are 4 obvious candidates, 2 pairs of 2, and that is Ho-Oh and Lugia, and Cresselia and Darkrai. Now, the thing is, there are strong arguments for both. Cresselia and Darkrai initially come out on top because they are literally the lunar duo, representing the morning and the evening, the sun and the moon, and that kind of makes sense, the nightmares and the dreams. So I think it probably will be them, because imagine a Mega Darkrai, would that not be incredible? But at the same time, if we go back to my Gold and Silver is Sun and Moon to X and Y's Red and Blue, then it would make sense for it to be Ho-Oh and Lugia, because they do have a lot of Sun and Moon representation about them, they really do, but not quite as firmly, at least in my opinion, as Cresselia and Darkrai. So it's really a toss-up between the 2 pairs of Pokemon, so I had to basically just go with my preference, which is Cresselia and Darkrai. So then, next up, this is going to be my sort of wild card Mega prediction. just because I think this would be a very cool thing to happen. And I'm going to go for Mega Eevee. Now, bear with me, because I realized that initially sounds, seriously, Mega Eevee, are you crazy? You know how many evolutions that thing has got? But that's exactly the thing. Eevee is the evolution Pokemon, and you certainly can't give a Mega to all of its evolutions, because that's just a ridiculous amount. But you could give a Mega to its base normal form. Imagine that with Eevee. You either choose to evolve your Eevee into one of the evolutions, or you can leave it as normal and get a Mega Eevee. I think that would be really badass. I think it could look pretty damn cool. I think it could have a really sweet ability. Hell, go mental and give it Wonder Guard or some absurdness. I think that would be a lot of fun, and it would really round off Eevee's potential as a Pokemon that can do every kind of evolution, and that is something that appeals to me. And then finally, for my prediction-y section, I think we easily go for Volcarona. It gives Gen 5 another Mega Evolution. Nintendo have proven that they're not shying away from giving already powerful Pokemon Mega Evolution, so that's not really a concern. And Volcarona is literally a representation of the sun. It is this shining, fiery bug, and the way you found it, and it's just covered in sun-based mythology. And also, let's be honest, a Mega Volcarona would be incredibly cool. It really would. I think that one is a fairly easy prediction. And I am biased as well, because I do love Volcarona, but it would be wonderful in a Mega form. I really think so. So, yeah, I'm sorry if there wasn't as much reasoning and research as there was with the starters, but there's really not much to go on without some information released. But I did want to get some early pre-Coro leak Mega predictions in. And then I'll finally leave you with just a quick list of Pokemon that I would just like to see Megas, whether I like them or I know a lot of people that like them. It would just be nice if they had them. So we got Galvantula, Yanmega, I mean it's already got Mega in the name, Gliscor, Luxray, the final evolutions of the basic birds like Talonflame, Staraptor, Swellow, Milotic. I think a few fossil Pokemon should get Megas, and then of course Raichu, yeah, just because I think it would be hilarious that Pikachu can then both evolve and then Mega Evolve, but Ash still uses basic Pikachu. And then I'd love the anime to come up with a way that just Pikachu can skip Raichu and still get to Mega Evolve temporarily. I mean, while that would be cool, it would just be poor Raichu, right? Like, poor Raichu. I feel so bad for it, because I like Raichu, I do. I prefer how it looks to Pikachu. But I just think that would be funny, just to irritate people who love Pikachu. Not that anything wrong with that. I obviously like it myself. I just think it would be quite funny. So, there you go, guys. That is my Sun and Moon Mega Evolution video. Let me know what you'd like to see a theory on next time. I'm thinking either between a expanded discussion of what I hinted on with Burst Evolution, or my new type combination / Pokemon that will probably appear in Sun and Moon. So let me know. But for now, my name has been Rage. Like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe for some Pokemon, and I'll see you later on. Oh, goodbye.